I'm Keith. The talk's called DevOps in a Hurry. You can find me on Twitter at Keith Marcum. That's my puns account. I do not have a non-puns account. So, story time. If I could take you all back to 2014, it was a little bit of a simpler time. America was simpler, our politics were more civilized, and I was working at an ed tech startup. And as one does, we were doing basically all platform as a service, all software as a service. If you looked at our credit card bill, you'd see a lot of things ending in .io. But as startups do, we pivoted. More than that, we pivoted to the HIPAA-ist industry there is, and everything sort of changed. All these platforms as a service and software as a service were no longer compliant enough. So we took some inventory and we found out we have exactly zero budget for an ops person, and also zero budget, and also zero people with experience in things like Puppet or Docker or Chef or whatever it is. Well, crap. What do we know? Not Puppet, not Chef, not really like what's going to fail first if we prop up our own application servers, and also not what's going to fail second. So what do? Well, we took a moment and we said, well, what do we know? So we know Bash. We know how to like take URLs and give them the curl and then like pass that to sudo, and we've gotten a lot done that way. So we know a little bit of Bash, and we know a lot of Ruby because our application's written in Ruby. So like we're not starting from nothing, but most of all, and don't underestimate it, we're all very familiar with Google, right? Highly recommend that in your toolbox at all times. So like maybe we can do this. Maybe we should make it. Maybe we can make it work. So what if we're just like really honest with ourselves that we have no idea what we're doing, and we just proceed accordingly? And I proceed with a lot of skepticism and doubt. Like, take inventory about like what really matters. And I'm so happy that a couple talks the first day really like crapped on the whole tools idea. Like, it's about philosophy and values. It's not about what tech you know, right? So follow your process. So we already had like a really, really good dev setup. Like, we were doing code reviews, we were doing postmortems, we had collective ownership, and like we were working really hard on a blameless sort of setup. And so maybe we could just take that with us into DevOps. But again, we knew like very little, so we needed to limit our operations. Your cloud provider usually picks a few operations for you, like deleting VMs without warning, restarting VMs without warning. So we sort of take those as given, and we add some stuff that we have to do, like deploys. So we've got restarts, we've got deleting VMs sometimes, and we've got deploys. And like maybe we can just stitch that together and be very careful, and maybe this can all work out. Maybe it'll be fine. We'll see. And so the first thing there is to focus on ephemeral servers. And that's cool because it's going to force us to log aggregation early. But it's also cool because it keeps us from accumulating state which can be confusing, and state which can expose, again, just how little we know about what we're doing. The other thing we need to do is we need to promote visibility. So like, we want to limit the amount of things that can change while we're not watching. We want to make sure that our demo people know like when production's been updated. We want to make sure that we can go back and see when something happened and who did it. We're going to try not to buy into a lot of like really vendor-specific stuff. We're not going to use any of those like very, very complicated acronyms I don't understand from AWS. We're going to stick to like VMs and load balancers. Again, we're going to keep things simple so there's less to know. And we're not going to be afraid to use primitive tools. I'm really, really happy Lee did half of this intro for me. So like tool sharpening is really important, but you also hear some people say if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Well, Bash was kind of our hammer, but we got that hammer really sharp. And we expect failure, right? And so like we expect things to blow up all the time, and we sort of make peace with it. Like we're not going to blame the server, we're not going to blame the developer. We're just going to like say, oh wow, things happen. Like things happen all the time, and it's cool that it happened during business hours. But when those things do fail, we're going to pursue deep comprehension. We're going to ask like however many whys it takes. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 7. But we're going to get to like really what's going on here. We're going to look at the logs. We're going to like preserve them, and we're going to follow our fear. So like, oh, that's really weird that server went down. Well, we restarted and it came back up, and that was great. But maybe we should just go ahead and do that again. Like, you want to restart it? We'll see if we actually registered that service correctly. And as part of that, we're going to fight siloing. We're going to have conversations. We're going to have people that get like way better at some things than others. And then one step in that, let's say epic, we're going to say, hey, Joe, you don't know anything about this, but it's important we share knowledge. So let's do it. Let's have you take like 5 times longer, but we're going to share our knowledge. And that's really important. And I think anyone can do this. If you're starting with a team of devs and you have good process, jumping into DevOps doesn't have to be super scary. It doesn't matter what tools you know. Just have a little faith. It'll be fine. Cool. Thank you.